go ahead and get started. We'd like to welcome Daniel Berger to the interview room here at the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. Daniel, you're making your 8th start here this week. Do you mind just sharing some thoughts on a hometown event of sorts for you and your excitement to be back?
Yeah, I love this place. I've played a lot of golf tournaments here as a junior golfer, as an amateur golfer, so it's always nice to come back, and I've been pretty successful here. Had a couple chances to win, so yeah, it's nice to sleep in your own bed and play in a golf tournament right down the street.
And you're making your 4th start this season. Can you share some thoughts on where your game is and your 3 prior starts? You haven't played since Amex, right?
Yeah, I played, 2 weeks ago at the Waste Management. But yeah, no, it's been nice to get back. I took a long time off, so it's fun to get back to the Florida swing and be in Florida and in my own bed.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll go ahead and open to questions. We can start with you, Tom. Did you say you have a question? We'll get a microphone up here to Tom. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. I'm so sorry. Yanni?
Hey, Daniel, Yanni, WPBF. Your time off getting healthy again, is this one of those tournaments you were sort of eyeing as, because you've played so well here and almost won it, as where you could make your comeback story, so to speak, in the winner's circle?
Yeah, I was thinking, looking at the schedule, where I wanted to start, and I don't think I felt 100% going into the Amex, and so the next kind of tournament I was looking at was the the Cognizant. It's kind of in my memory just from years past, but yeah, this was another event that I circled on the schedule that I thought I would probably start at, but I started to feel a little bit better, and but it's just it's a great event. There's so many friends and family that come out to watch, so I'm just excited to get the week going.
Tom.
Hey, Daniel, going basically a year and a half without an official PGA Tour event, how is approaching an event now, how is it different for you as far as getting out there, playing golf, warming up? I mean, I'm assuming it's a lot different because of what you had to go through.
It is a lot different. Yeah, I would say in the years past it was wake up, go to the range, hit balls, go to the tee, and now it's a lot more process oriented. There's a lot more work that goes into it, but I feel like there's a different level of professionalism that I bring to it now than I did, years past. But it's part of the game. It's part of what it takes to get out there and play. And I think you see the guys that have been out here for a long time. Those are the guys that are doing those things. The Justin Roses, the Stuart Sings, the Padraig Harringtons. Those are the guys that are putting in the work so that they can feel good and be ready to go. And I feel like that's part of it now for me, and it wasn't so years ago.
I know your last event here 2022. That leading up to that, you had to withdraw. You couldn't defend your title at Pebble,
yep.
And it was the back issues. I remember at Phoenix, you were kind of just testing it out to see if you could play here. Mm-hmm. Was that the start of what you had to go through? So is this has this been a 2-year ordeal or more?
No, yeah, it's been a 2-year ordeal. That was essentially the start of when I started feeling the stuff in my back, and kind of the last half of the portion that I played in 2022 leading up to the U.S. Open where I stopped playing, I never felt great. I mean, when you play a professional sport, it's not like you always feel great, but I was in pain all the time. And then I got to a point where I was like, this is just not worth playing. My everyday life sucks, and I'm just struggling to play a golf tournament. And you can't win a golf tournament when you can only do 25% of what you're used to doing. So that's where I really made the decision to step back. And yeah, even when I played here, whatever that was, 2022, I was at 50%, and that's not a level that you can compete at day in and day out. And so that's where the decision was made to kind of step back and get healthy.
Jeff?
Daniel, right here in the back. The 10th has gone from a par 4 to a par 5. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that change and how that does that change your prep? Does that change how you play that hole?
Yeah, I saw there's a couple different changes. Like you mentioned, 10's a par 5 now. I think it's going to be obviously a scoring opportunity because it's going to be a shorter par 5. You'll hit maybe a long iron or a 5-wood into that green, but it's just another birdie opportunity on a course that doesn't have a lot of birdie opportunities. So maybe a little bit of relief in the middle of the round if you're starting on the front nine to look at the scorecard and say, hey, if I hit a good drive, there's a chance for a birdie or an eagle, and kind of get the round going a little bit.
Down here. So while you were away the last couple of years, professional golf has gone a little crazy. What has it been like to be on the outside looking in as the landscape has changed so dramatically?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to not focus on it just because I feel like it's a stressful thing to think about all the time, but it's everywhere, you know, it's on social media, it's on the internet, you turn on any news channel and they're talking about it, and so it's difficult to really get away from it, but I feel like I've been slightly lucky in the fact that I haven't been directly involved with all of the stuff that's going on, so for me it's been nice to just try to focus on things that I can control and really just try to, you know, day by day get better and get back to playing, but yeah, it's been a heck of a 2 years for golf.
Some of the guys you're close to, you're friends with, have been in governance roles and been very involved. Have you seen a toll taken on them?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's hard for there not to be a toll taken on them, and I just the confusing part is like it's so hard to focus on your game of golf and the other stuff that they're focusing on at the same time too. It's for me it would never work. I'm too single-minded. I wouldn't be able to, you know, focus on all that at once. But yeah, I mean it's definitely a challenging time in the game.
Yeah, thanks.
Karen?
Daniel, I have a couple trophy-related questions for you. When you were growing up, did your father display his ATP Tour trophies anywhere and let you anywhere near them? What did he do with them?
I honestly don't think I've ever seen one of his trophies in my entire life. I've seen like old pictures of him playing. I've seen old videos of him on YouTube, you know, playing big matches. But yeah, I honestly have never seen any.
What do you do with yours?
I have them in my office. I'm proud of them. I like to look at them every once in a while. And yeah, I mean, what's the point of winning a golf tournament if you can't look back at it and be proud of it?
When you were going through this adversity, could you look at them and take inspiration from them? Like, this is what is there for you if you can get back.
No, that's a great question. I honestly did. Yeah, I would sit in my office and look at them and just think back and try to visualize the moments of the shots that I hit coming down the stretch and knowing that as far away as you feel from that, you're not as far as you think you are. And so that was kind of just a small little victory here and there to just be patient and know that eventually you'll be okay.
Got a question to your right here.
Hi, David Stathan Aquilo, fellow South Florida guy. I want to know what it's like, you know, playing courses like Crandon growing up and how they compare to, you know, big tournaments like this.
Well, you know, they're similar in the way that, you know, the grass is very familiar to me. You know, this year I think they overseeded the rough, which is a little different. You know, sometimes they overseed it, sometimes they don't. I was expecting that Bermuda, which is always, you know, really challenging for a lot of guys. And I feel like maybe this year the course is slightly easier than it has been in years past. You know, they took the bunker away, or the 2 bunkers away on, I believe it's 6, the par 4, which is probably the most challenging hole on the course. But, you know, it might be a better golf hole now that they did that. But, yeah, I think, in my opinion, I like it to be as challenging as possible and kind of weed out some of the other players that are unfamiliar with the course. But it's always a great event. And, you know, the scores, when you have a finish like the Bear Trap, there's just always a big number waiting to happen no matter how well you're playing. So that's, I think, what makes the tournament so exciting.
Tom has a follow-up question here. Do you have another? Go ahead.
Oh. Hey, Daniel, welcome back.
Thank you.
Do we make too much? You get to play so many, you know, iconic courses and challenging courses. Do we make too much out of it as, you know, the local media, the hometown kid wants to win at PGA National? Like, this is one place that you'd especially like to conquer and you'd be, you know, extra happy if you did?
No, I don't think, you know, I think it's very fair. You know, I mean, you know, this is a big tournament for me. I have all my family and all my friends coming out, and I want to play well for them, and I love that, you know, I'm right here. I get to be in my same routine and going to the gym and being in my bed and, you know, being with my dog and my family and all those things that you miss when you go away for a golf tournament. Now it's right here with me, so it's easy to be a little happier when you're at this event.
We'll go back to Tom.
2 last things. Speaking of that, your 2 best finishes was the playoff, the first one, and then 2 years ago, getting caught in that monsoon with Shane and Sep. Which one? I don't want to say disappointing because you're second and fourth, but you're disappointed you didn't win. Which one do you look back at and think I had the best chance to win?
I probably thought a lot more about the one in 22 that I had the 5-shot lead. But then again, I've never had a 5-shot lead going into a final round of a golf tournament, so it was kind of like a new experience for me. And the only way to know how you're going to play is to do it, and then the only way to get better from it is to experience it. So I feel like the next time I'll be better off. But that was a tough one. You know, I was playing so well, and I really didn't even play that poorly on Sunday. I just didn't. You know, I hit some good shots. I had a bunker shot I made. I chipped in on the last, I think on 14 or something, and kind of kept my way in there until the end where that rain did start coming down. But you know, they're all tough. When you're close and you don't win, it's always tough.
And going back one last, when you played that last tournament you played before you took time off the U.S. Open, at that point, did you look at it and say, I'm going to, a month or two, I'm going to go day by day? Did you have any idea that it would be that long before you got back on tour?
Yeah, I did not think it would be that long. I think the thing was I was chasing like the quick fix, like what's gonna fix me tomorrow, and the reality is that's not how it works. It was kind of like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back? We don't really know, but you have to, adjust and make changes. And once I figured out what works for me, you just stick to your process and you do those things, and eventually, you get better. And it just took me a longer time, and I didn't want to be one of those guys that came back too early and was like hurt 3 months later. I wanted to feel 100% and be able to do everything I wanted to do, and that's where I feel now. Yeah, I feel perfect now. Yeah.
Okay, a couple more. Adam first.
Did you learn to play the guitar, pick up any new hobbies? How'd you spend all that time off?
I've been asked that a lot. They said, did you go on your boat? What did you do? And it was a lot of nothing, to be honest, which was probably the worst part, because if you know me, I'm an active person and I don't like to sit around a lot. So yeah, that was the toughest part, is just sitting around and literally doing nothing for 8 months before I got back to being a little bit more like myself and feeling comfortable, like walking. Like I would walk for 15 minutes and I'd be in pain, and then I would stop, and then the next day it'd be 18 minutes, 20 minutes, so it was kind of just like building up until, I felt comfortable to be normal again.
Did you watch the Ryder Cup?
Actually, that was the one golf tournament I did watch. I did watch the Ryder Cup.
How did that feel?
I mean, it was exciting, anytime, you get 12 of the best players in the world playing against 12 of the best players, it's fun to watch, but tough not to be there, having played in the one a couple years before that, but it was just, it's always a great tournament to watch on TV.
We'll finish up with Steve right here.
So now that you're 100%, what type of activities would you do locally, given the chance to do whatever you want?
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, like I would play beach volleyball, tennis, pickleball, play 36 holes of golf in a day, go fishing for 12 hours on the boat in 5-foot seas, and feel like $1 million. But now I feel like I'm capable of doing that. But a year ago, I was like, no way.
Yeah, offshore fishing in 5-foot seas.
It's not the best for the
Not
back.
fun, yeah. Are there any tour players who live here who you would hang out and do stuff with?
No, I was pretty, I was kind of stuck by myself. I mean, there was a lot of guys that I reached out to for advice, on how to deal with stuff, but most of it was just hanging out on my anti-gravity chair in front of the TV.
But now that you're better, if you were going to call a guy to go fishing, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. I probably wouldn't call any of the guys out on tour. I'd probably call my brothers. They're like my first mates.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Thanks.
Good.
We'll wrap it up there. Thank you for coming in. Good luck this week.